I bought this 2019 Toyota Tundra TRD Pro exactly 2 weeks ago, and these are the top 8 things I hate about it. As we are recording this video, it's been about 11 days that I've had this truck, and I've been out of town for about 3 days. But still, I have put 704.8 miles on this truck, so I have been using it, and I've been driving it a lot. Number 8 on my list is the lack of the rear locking differential. And of course I knew this when I was purchasing this truck. And I'm on a snowy dirt road. Let's see how it works. I'm in 2-wheel drive. Okay, the traction control steps in. It helps me to make progress. These tires I'm on are used, so not brand new tires. Okay, a couple things. The truck can get out of its own way in slippery conditions like this without a rear locking differential. It has the software and the traction management to actually resolve that issue, but it's not super predictable. So if I want to make it a little bit more predictable, that's where a selectable rear locker would be very helpful. So yeah, you can do this. It's just something I dislike. Yes, of course I knew that this truck had an outdated interior when I bought it, but nonetheless I need somewhere to put my iPhone. So can I put it here? Okay, maybe. That's kind of a cup holder. I don't want to put it here because I use these cup holders quite a bit. Up here, it's gonna slide around. There's not really a great place. Oh, maybe here. Okay, but it's kind of bouncy and kind of hard on the phone in here. So I'll have to buy a mount. You know, there is of course a way to fix all of these issues. I am thinking I could buy a mount that mounts up here. So maybe I can have a little holder and I can kind of put my phone here so it's very within reach and I could see it. Next, it's the suspension setup and suspension squat. This truck is made to be level when it's empty, but you can see already the rear end is down a little bit. And especially when towing, this TRD Pro has a lot of suspension squat. And yes, there is a way to fix it, maybe with an additional bump stop, but I'll have to do that later. I'm very thankful that I have cruise control and adaptive cruise control in this truck because my previous truck didn't have it. But here's the thing, I just enabled it and it goes to the longest distance right there. And I don't like the longest distance. I always make it shorter from the longest setting to the shortest setting. But on every, like if I turn off the system or turn off the truck, I have to reset that setting every time. I don't know if I can do that in the system somehow. Maybe you guys can let me know. And it's also not super smooth sometimes. And I think some of the reason for this is that when the Tundra first came out, this generation, this iteration of it in 2014, it didn't have adaptive cruise control. But then it was added later. This truck does have it. But because the platform of the truck was a little bit aged, it was kind of an addition and not a brand new design for that system. And of course it's a small thing. It's not a major hit. I love having cruise control. Now I can cruise to Albuquerque, no issues, like I'm getting on the highway now. And do you hear that? Glorious sound. Yes. And now I can set my cruise control. Woo-hoo-hoo. This is Toyota's top-of-the-line off-road truck for 2019, but I think it has a tiny tire. This is a 275/65 R18. I love the wheel design, by the way, but the tire is basically a 32-inch diameter by about 10.8-inch width, and within this large truck, it just looks tiny, and it also doesn't provide a heck of a lot of ground clearance either. Here's the next thing I hate. This day is perfect to show this. I'm gonna go to 4-wheel drive high from 2-wheel drive, and it's gonna take a little while. See, it's blinking. All right, it did it. So that's not super bad. But what this reminded me of is the lack of all-wheel drive feature in the Tundra. Most new trucks, and I drive every new pickup truck, some of the most expensive ones as well, have all-wheel drive settings on their transfer cases. This one doesn't. So watch this. So first I'm trying to make a little bit of a turn here, and it's crabbing, right? So if I was in all-wheel drive mode, and manufacturers usually use clutches for that, it kind of eliminates that problem where it's kind of difficult to steer at slow speed. It's very typical of 4-wheel drive systems. So why didn't Toyota use an all-wheel drive transfer case? Well, this is not them speaking, this is my interpretation, but I've seen them show the transfer case chain that they use. It's gigantic. It basically looks like a heavy-duty pickup truck, like a 2500 or a 3500 truck would be. And it's about reliability, longevity, strength. That's what the Tundra is all about. So they did not incorporate that feature. Even to this day, the brand new Tundra doesn't have all-wheel drive either. And look at this road. Sometimes it's a little bit wet. Over the bridges, it's iced over. So the conditions, the traction conditions vary on this day like this. And I have to be basically always in 4-wheel drive high if I want to maintain confidence and control. An all-wheel drive system would only kick in into all-wheel drive if I lose traction. So it's a little bit, it works behind the scenes, and it makes a little bit more pleasant driving experience and maybe a little bit more efficient driving experience. But right now, driving in 4-wheel drive high, I'm losing a little bit of efficiency because I'm spinning all these components in the driveline, and it's a little bit harder for me to turn, like right now. Ooh, crabby. Next on my list is lack of interior storage. Look at this seat, it's humongous. I love this part about this truck, but I lift up this and there's this hump. So where can I put my way-safe hitch, my recovery points, my straps? Can I do this? Let me try. Barely closes. It's gonna roll around. So I need to come up with different ways of storing my straps, some of my extra components, either get a toolbox in the bed, maybe a little bit of a tray here, but there's just not a lot of storage here. All right, one other aspect of interior storage is the center console, which is actually huge. Look, there's my license plates, a couple of other items. I can maybe put a laptop in here and some of my other items, but still, I need somewhere to put like maybe a little toe strap, my cargo straps, my hitch. I don't want to put my hitch in here. Let's take a look at the technology in this truck. And actually, I don't mind this. I think this is cool. I'm a little bit old school, so I love a key. And I can actually put it in and start the truck up. But then, I'm welcomed by outdated technology. You can see how small this screen is. And here's the deal. Oh, I'm listening to Everyday Driver. I love Everyday Driver podcast. So I only have Bluetooth connectivity, so I can make phone calls and listen, of course, to music or my podcast or my audiobooks. But look at the rest of this. Eco. Yeah, if you knew Toyota, you're kind of used to this, but it's not very helpful in my opinion. I'm not even talking about MPG. I knew what I was getting into with this V8 engine. I love the V8 sound. I knew that already. I'm just talking about the technology. It does have some traffic information. Maintenance, I can define all these items. And actually it's helpful to track my oil changes. So I'm going to be tracking this over the next few months. But a lot of it doesn't make sense. For example, battery. It wants me to input a date when I should replace my battery. I don't know when I need to replace it. It might be 3 years, 5 years, 7 years from now. So some of it's a little bit silly. I don't want to replace something too early and just for the sake of replacement. Also, navigation system is ancient, okay? To enter a destination, you have to go through a number of challenges. You need to tell the system where you are, the city, the state, the address. You have to type it in. I mean, you guys are probably used to this by now. The cool thing actually is weather information, which is current. I love that. But also, if you look at my gauges here, first of all, very clear gauges. This is really good. But I don't have any numeric data. So, for example, I don't know what the actual temperature of my oil is or my coolant is. I have no idea what my transmission is doing as far as temperature is concerned. I also don't have any drive modes, so no sport, no eco, nothing like that in this truck. And yeah, I would have to add gauges to it, and I think I will add some more gauges to this so I can monitor some of this information. I've been reviewing pickup trucks for over 12 years, and I do have a TRD Pro pocket knife. Nice. I wanted to show you this. This is the map card. This is basically where you could put in a chip to update maps for your nav system. Wow, can you believe that still? Also, I have a CD player, so I can listen to my old CD collection. And then there's this, the resolution of the rear camera. Yeah, I know it's a little bit wet from the snow, but as I'm turning into this parking spot, the lines don't move. So it's a tiny bit of a challenge. And then the resolution is kind of poor. But it's kind of what this truck is all about. It's kind of old, reliable. And I can see good enough so that I don't hit that fence. It's okay. As you just saw right there, all of the items that I hate are correctable and fixable. And over the next few months, I'll be correcting and fixing and adding bigger tires and new tech to this truck. And I'll also gonna do some towing, so you'll be able to see exactly how the transmission and the engine perform. And if I have any overheating issues, I don't think I should have any issues, but we'll have to wait and see. And of course, I love a lot about this truck, and that video is still to come. Thanks for joining me. Check out oldtfl.com for everything automotive in one place. I'll see you next time.